Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Sōdo Gai, the animation, is the latest Netflix-produced anime to be released. This is a 12-episode series, and it is based upon the manga series that came out in 2012 and is still running today. And so the whole premise of this story is the fact that there are weapons which are actually living, okay? So basically, they are demonic weapons. And so there is a main weapon, and I don't even remember the exact name, but it's basically the demon of death. And this is the main weapon that the whole story starts out with. And so the whole premise is there is this organization, it's the Shishido organization that is actually collecting all these weapons that are owned throughout the centuries by different people. And so with that, they actually have an organization that is actually trying to police or keep the world, I guess, safe from these demonic weapons, because once a person gets a hold of this, they go on a killing spree, and eventually they are taken over by these demonic weapons, and they become these things called musoma, or they become demons themselves. Okay, and so that is the general premise. And out of this story, there is a child, his name is Guy, who is born out of the death of his parents because of this demonic sword. In this case, it's the Shiryu sword. And so that is how the story starts. And there's also other characters, and there's actually many characters that are involved with this. Okay, so the main three characters are Miru, this guy right here. There's Ichijo, Shiya Ichijo, and there's also Sayaka. And there are other side characters as well, but those are the main characters. And of course, the demon swords themselves. Now, for the first 6 episodes of this series, it was very intriguing because of the fact that the swords themselves, they are their own characters. Okay, they are driven to kill. Okay, and so that was interesting to me. And then Guy himself, once you find out, you watch anime, you see how he's born, he's given life. He has a certain bond to this demonic sword. And so all those things were very interesting at the beginning. And especially whenever you see a Guy basically bond with this sword, and he himself becomes a living weapon. And then you also learn more about Ichijo, who later, with Marcus, that's another character, and also Nioki. Okay, there's so many characters. And so you also learn their backstory as well, especially with Saya Ichijo. I think he was the most interesting character. And then Guy, as he continues to evolve, you kind of see that his powers, they're all, I guess, related to the Musoma and to the main power behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that go on near the end. Okay, so he is an integral part, you know, and that's not really surprising. And then later on, you learn why these demonic swords, why they have existed so long, why are they basically an integral part of history as well, because without them, a lot of wars, a lot of conquest would not have been completed. Okay, so those are the good parts of the anime, and the animation itself, it's good. You know, it's not the best, but it is good. But after like episode 6, things just kind of went off the rails. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because it was so unfocused at that point. You know, it went on a more comedic route, you know, especially within the city itself. And then after the whole thing about Ichijo and Guy, they kind of lost track of that because they introduced so many other characters. You know, there's side stories, there's characters that come out of the blue, there's people looking for treasure, there's an ultra wealthy young person who happens to have another powerful sword, but who's also a philanthropist, you know, and then the backstories of Miru and the Shishido organization. It just gets absolutely confusing. And then by the end of it, when you find out the other things behind the scene, the other forces behind the scenes, it just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't really matter at that point, you know, because the whole point of the story when I was watching it at the beginning was the demonic weapons, and initially Guy and Ichijo, this character right here. But unfortunately, as the story goes along, you don't even spend a lot of time with Guy. You actually spend more time with these side characters. And although I really like Ichijo, it seemed like the whole central portion of this story should have been about Guy. Now, the thing is, this is season 1. And so there will be a second season, as you see at the 12th episode. But unfortunately, I think because they were trying to introduce so many things, maybe the whole setup, it just kind of really made me lose interest by the end. And so that's an unfortunate thing because the premise is really cool. Demonic weapons that are actually characters in and of themselves. And then also kind of like how the Basoma and the Shishido Corporation, all this stuff is related. That's cool. But once again, because there were so many side stories, it felt so unfocused. There were so many characters. It kind of made me lose interest. Okay, so hopefully season 2 will be better. But overall, this one is just a good anime. It's just okay, and it's not the best one that I've seen come out of Netflix. But if you are a fan of the manga series, or maybe just like these type of fantasy type, modern type anime, then you might enjoy it. But I myself, after episode 6, there wasn't enough to keep me interested. Okay. And so if you had any thoughts on Sword Guy or any other anime that you've seen recently that you enjoyed, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/Geek Outdoors. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.